but it wasn't for himself, fortune or fame. He walked the streets and gave his sermon. Today his big buildings and air condition. It begs me to question their leadership function and the true purpose of religion. I hear in La ilaha illallah, Om Hare Krishna Hare Rama, hearing Hail Mary and Hallelujah. And things not getting any better. We sing all our religious songs just from the tips of our tongues. It's not coming from our hearts and soul. That's why there is chaos in my world. You're singing La ilaha illallah, Om Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Holy Hail Mary and Hallelujah. Sing from your heart so we could prosper. I beg you to sing from your heart so we could prosper. Religion is not the doorway, it is the path. It's not about clean clothes and dirty hearts. These small fries continue to fill the jail, while the big fish they believe heaven is for sale. So if you feel that your God counting sheep, trust me, the God that you serve, he doesn't sleep. Cause in this world, so many things matter. We mix up terrorism for jihad. I hear in La ilaha illallah, Om Hare Krishna Hare Rama, hearing Hail Mary and Hallelujah. And things not getting any better. We sing all our religious songs just from the tips of our tongues. It's not coming from our hearts and soul. That's why the devil taking control. They're singing La ilaha illallah, Om Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Holy Hail Mary and Hallelujah. Sing from your heart so we could prosper. I beg you to sing from your heart so we could prosper. Yeah! Sing from your heart. A wise man once said, sing from your heart.
Sing from your heart, man. Sing from your heart. Mean what you say. Put some meaning in those rituals that so many of us in Trinidad and Tobago partake in, right? Many of us, all of us, for the most part, subscribe one way or the next. I just look around, I just see, right? We attend some type of establishment once in a blue moon. Some people stay out totally, but the majority of us. But what is that really doing for us? Do we keep hopping from one institution to the next where we just hear what we want to hear? There's this prosperity preaching as well nowadays where people just go to hear, you will be rich and good by service to the Lord because they want the rewards here. They're not even interested in no concept of hereafter. Plenty people just about here. And I could understand the interconnection between here and the hereafter. But we cannot be so driven by materialism that even our worship is for material things. Every minute all they're asking God, give me this, give me that. God must be fed up all you. When he has given you sufficiently, when he has given you in proportion, when he has restricted from you sometimes so that you don't go haywire. You know how much people just want to get rich, and as soon as they get rich, they switch. They become so dark. It would be better for them not to get wealth. You know how much people just pray for power, and then when they get that test of power or authority or whatever, it destroys them. Haywire. arrogance, no macaroni pie for you, ride bicycle. I just giving examples because there are other examples as well. But our arrogance and a lack of empathy for others. There are those who will suffer, and when they come out of that process of suffering, they inflict suffering they like on others. Crazy, eh? People took advantage of you, and when you come out of that position of being taken advantage of, and you now assume some position where you can change that, instead you continue the cycle. And we see that internationally, of course. We watch on still as genocide is taking place. Continue there, it kind of out of the news, but by people who suffered. For a matter of fact, that's one of the biggest in Trinbagonia and Palang, the biggest shot they just hit people. Oh, we suffer so much. Now you put people under suffering that can be compared worse. It's worse. But according to Chucky, God doesn't sleep. And these things and this life is but a test for us. Today is Friday. An important day for Muslims. We have our congregational prayer and stuff today. Of course, it's the Lenten season. People trying to fast. Right? I wish my Christian brothers and sisters, and for all the other groups that are living in Trinidad and Tobago, find the substance in your teaching. It is supposed to shape you to make you better, not to get more, but spiritually, which then translates into the way we act and behave in the society, supposed to make you better. Alright, blessings to my brother Chucky Gordon. So much tremendous music over the years, and indeed that one is one of my favorites. I go to the dailies, right, and coming out of the carnival, like I said, there's the lanyap for those foreigners who are still here, for those Trinbagonians who smart and kind of budgeting themselves based on the economic strains, etc. You could get everything in one in lanyap for $300, right? All the best of the best. That's value as well. Support the culture. So in the dailies, smaller bands face injustices. Not sure what that is. K2K Alliance and Partners has claimed that the medium band of the year for 2026, marking another milestone in the band's journey of innovation and creativity in Carnival. There are a couple bands who even Monday and Tuesday have costumes still, like actual costumes. Is not nudity, is not just bikini mask, right? And big up to them and the people who partake in that level of color and splendor and creativity. Even the picture watching in front of me, is mass, is a masterpiece. So congratulations to them. I think there's Lost Tribe as well, and a few other bands that create concepts and create costumes, that's right, the people thing. So yeah, maybe I'll go into it a little bit later, but I'm just skimming through the headlines right now. 1 dead, 2 injured in East Port of Spain shooting. And I heard Minister Alexander speaking about conflicts that people have with each other, groups in the society have, and those conflicts when people come out for carnival, you know, and even in daily life, spilling over into the society, and you know, it's a problem that needs to be dealt with. We need to find a solution as well. I'm still waiting on Nicola, or I don't know if Roger and they could do it themselves alone. Maybe they could do it. Because the conflicts continue to a lesser extent, but they continue. And of course, the mental impact in our society, the lack of respect for life, greed, and other issues, materialism, that bear a certain level of crime and behavior, that also needs to be dealt with. It needs to be confronted, not just by blue lights and guns and tougher policing, but by cultural shifts, by education, by intervention, by community work as well. And we talk about these things. We spoke about these things, right? We spoke about these things. So 1 dead, 2 injured in East Port of Spain. Alright, concerning. We don't want a flare-up of conflict that costs lives, that innocent people suffer from. There are families that live in these communities who are challenged by the violence around them as well. It can be solved, and it needs to be solved. Right? Let us pay attention and apply the right prescriptions. Okay, it's not the barbarism of, I don't know, Frankenstein doctor. You have an illness and you just want to cut off, amputate that, take off the leg, take off the this. There are holistic treatments that will succeed. That will succeed if we apply them to our situations. Headline number 2. St. Lucian fishermen believed killed by recent U.S. boat strike. So the strikes, kinetic strikes as the United States have called them, have decreased. Right? They get what they want in terms of rendition and taking President Maduro out of Venezuela and having him in a process of a trial. I don't know, nah. I telling you, the world, I ain't even saying Trinidad and Tobago. World, what a world we live in. But there has been another strike on a boat, and a St. Lucian fisherman is believed to have been on the boat. Yeah. I don't know. There's a picture of a pirogue. Whew. Decimated. Right? Decimated by whatever rocket would have hit it. And of course, I don't know if they are going to release some kind of footage showing drugs on it. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're just doing what they want to do, of course, because they have the power in their minds to do what they want. We have spoken about this. We've spoken about the fact that this is not really the process by which you do drug interdiction, right? You don't stop like this, you know. There's talk about it being a violation of human rights. You can stop, arrest people if you believe that they are transporting narcotics, and you can prove that in the court of law, and then you can punish them. I mean, if your society even wants to designate through legislation a death penalty for drug trafficking, that's fine. There are actually jurisdictions that do that, but there must be a process normally of adjudication before a death sentence is issued. Of course, the U.S. administration frames what it is doing in a certain manner to enable itself to bypass these important fundamental rights that have been placed for all of humanity, and they have the power to do so. So we could just talk about it, I guess. St. Lucian Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre on Monday confirmed that people had lost their lives under circumstances, but clarified that he had received no official notification on these circumstances to date. His statement followed reports that the burnt hulls of at least 2 fishing vessels had surfaced off Kanuan and Bekia in St. Lucia over the weekend, following the deadly U.S. strikes on February the 13th and February the 16th. We take the break on that one, right? And we will be right back.
On the Street 919 FM.
Boy, I got in an accident a while ago. I was in traffic and my car get bounced from behind.
Well, then they're wrong.
Yeah.
Well, the insurance company go fix it up.
Fix up? Huh? I make my claim the next day. And up to now, I can't hear from the insurance company. I need my car fixed.
Look, you better go to the Financial Services Ombudsman. I'm sure they can help.
Yeah, I'm going to check them now.
To resolve a complaint with your insurance company, bank, or non-bank financial institution, contact the Office of the Financial Services Ombudsman at 800-4FSO or visit www.ofso.org.tt. We can help, and our services are free.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price of $1,300. To order your products from the Gap Man Limited, call 628-4531 for products that cater to all your health needs.
For more info, contact 476-7268.
Trinidad and Tobago. The Ministry of Culture and Community Development, Pan Trinbago, and the National Carnival Commission present Carnival Lagna, the night with the champions of Carnival. Steel Pan, Mass, Calypso, and more. Join us at 7 p.m. this Saturday, February 21st at the iconic Queen's Park Savannah, Port of Spain. Get ready for a night filled with electrifying performances and unforgettable moments. Come celebrate with the champions of Carnival in an unforgettable showcase. Tickets are only $300. Available at Pan Trinbago's head office, 55 Don Donald Street, Port of Spain, and Pan Trinbago's website, pantrinbago.co.tt, or watch virtually via pay-per-view. US $30. You don't want to miss this spectacular event. Showtime, 7 p.m. this Saturday. The champions of Carnival. Sponsored by the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, Pan Trinbago, the National Carnival Commission, the Tobago House of Assembly, Kenson Group, BPTT, National Flour Mills, Carib, Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Bank, and Eaton Restaurant.
It's all over again like it's a
One night, infinite memories. On Thursday, February 19th, the legends and the future legends of Calypso meet on one stage at Napa. Showtime 7 p.m. sharp. Feel the power of Sugar Aloes and Gypsy, the energy of Sherwayne Winchester and Young Brother, the passion of Tazea O'Connor and Chuck Gore. Get ready for Dwayne O'Connor, Devon Sear, Lady Adana, Ainsley King, Nicholas Lucas, Rondell Donald, Sheldon Reed, Lil Bits, Zachary Ransom, and Slim Douglas, and Terry Lyle. All backed by Oral Rodriguez and the Razor Sharp Band. Hosted by Sonny Bling and Damon Melville. Celebrating the legacy of Barron. The Baron. Admission just $200. Get your tickets now at the Trinity Shop in Trent City, C3 Mall in San Fernando, and Excellence City Mall. For more information, call 755-2915 or 723-4011. Get ready for Barron's Infinity Concert 2. One night, infinite memories.
Courtesy the Marshall Montano Foundation and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development.
Not everything has to change. At KFC, we don't change the flavor, we add more. Now, get our delicious Lent value meals so you could keep on crunching. Get a fish sandwich for $45 or fish fillet with one regular side, also $45. We give you more of the taste you love for Lent. So keep on crunching with KFC. Finger licking good.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Champlain, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Hi there, I'm Lester Sublal, inviting you to join me on the first, second, and third Saturday, 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, and on the fourth and fifth Saturday from 8:30 p.m. for an extended version of Slow Gospel Music on Street 91.9 FM.
The Embassy Yacht is back and ready to transform your events into unforgettable experiences. Launched from Kings Wharf, San Fernando, the perfect starting point for an epic experience of luxury, music, and celebration on the open water. By booking our vessel, your event will include a house DJ, state-of-the-art sound system, fully stocked bar, dedicated cleaning crew, top-notch security. This isn't just a venue, it's a floating masterpiece designed to make your event the talk of the town. Imagine your guests dancing under the stars, drinks in hand, with breathtaking views of the coastline as your backdrop. From birthdays to corporate events to exclusive parties, the Embassy Yacht offers promoters a unique platform to create unforgettable memories and boost your brand's reputation. Call or WhatsApp 399-5959 or email embassycruises@gmail.com.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
And we are back. Remember, Line Up, right? Line Up tomorrow, the 21st. The opportunity to get it all in one. Right? You can get it all for nothing. Not exactly nothing, but next to nothing. $300 these days is tough. It's tough to get by, but is a little bit. It really doesn't go a long way. Invest in our culture. It is the better aspects of our culture as well. It is the winners of all of those competitions, mass. So I don't normally really look at Kings and Queens too much, to be honest, right? But I was in the Savannah for the March Gras. I tried to reach for Terry Lyon's performance. I got there a little bit late, but I heard it from outside. I heard the roar, and it just confirmed what I believed before, that she would win. And I was able to listen to the others because it was right around the time where I knew Helen was going to be the important title chasers in my mind, given my understanding of Calypso. Of course, it had a few before that were good as well. And I did actually stay on. I was talking to Major Hype for a little bit. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago, Major Hype. Excellent comedian as well. This is another thing that Trinidad and Tobago loves and has tremendous skill in. Comedy. We's a set of jokers. All you know that, right? all of us have this witty, responsive ability. I'm saying all of us, but it's part of our culture as well. We could give a talk, we could take a talk too. Our intellectual ability is something that we pride ourselves in, our ability to communicate. And part of that communication is jest and joke, is a little diss. Why we have extempo. I was think about doing it once in a while, you know, but nah, no thanks. So I stayed on and I watched some of the costumes that were created by these masked men, and some of them are extremely impressive. The work that goes into that, I could just imagine. So, you know, big up to them. You know, we are also showcased with Peter Minshall stuff often. Encore Video gave us Tantan and Saga Boy, Peter Minshall's children. Beautiful, really creative mass. Really creative things that I can understand why Barcelona Olympics wanted that as part of their ceremony. And I could understand why so many other major events worldwide would call on our artists, our practitioners to bring what we have into their presentations. For a matter of fact, I think we have not been marketing what we have well enough. Because if we were, these creations, or creations that they may specifically want or desire, would be booming as business. Because even on an international scale, and I've looked at many a presentation, we are on par. We are on par with our conceptualization and our ability, also our ability to create. But we lapse in. So I'm saying, you know, Lanyap, obviously I am really a fan, if you want to call it that, of Calypso. But mass in that form is actually really, really beautiful and entertaining as well. And of course there's Pan. Alright, we'll have the champions Exodus and probably the champions in the other categories. Maybe even, I don't know how much the show allows, because they're packing in so much into it. Come out and enjoy. Calypso, Soca as well. So of course Mr. Montano is going to be there, the title holder now for the most road match wins. Is not just what you see on stage, right? It's behind the stage is where legends are born. I think that's the line. It is all those people who come together. All those people, the writers, the producers, the musicians, the choreographers, the videographers, the marketing managers, and trust me, you have marketing personnel, who come together to create. You gotta understand that it is work. Maybe it makes it look easy for you on stage and you just think maybe that's the deception. Maybe the deception is that success could be derived without a tremendous amount of work and discipline. So you think you're just going to beat the best just like that, with sheer talent. No. Maybe a year you get lucky with a song. Maybe a year. But for longevity, for 12 years, for consistency, for legacy, you cannot achieve long-term success without tremendous hard work, discipline. You cannot. And a team and a team of professionals dedicated. All I understand where we need to go as a people in general, like just giving you all examples from this sphere, but with all things that we are embarked upon, that is what is necessary. We are a talented people in energy, for example, because we were first. The first well ever drilled, there was a dry well in Trinidad, ever in the world. And then they drilled one somewhere else, and then they came back and they drilled, and they got on the second attempt in Trinidad. 100 years, I think, already. We are two small dots, 1.4 million people, and we had one of the largest refineries operating. Do not underestimate the levels of wealth that have been pumped out of our substrata in Trinidad and Tobago. Do not underestimate, and do not underestimate that which still lies there. So we have the capacity with our people, because we have been involved to a certain extent. Thank God for the unions. Thank God for those who push for workers, local workers, and their rights to be involved in these processes, and not just expatriates, not just foreigners coming to do all of these processes. We have built human capital. Our Trinbagonians are leaders in these industries, in Schlumberger, in Total, in all the big companies across the world. Good morning, Miss Superville. I don't know if you're still in charge of Angola. Trinbagonians, engineers, technicians, oilmen, wellmen, whatever else, with the ability and the skill, wasted to some extent because of a lack of foresight, because of a lack of ability to pivot, to change, to renew, to uplift, business acumen, corruption, incompetence. Our people are tremendously endowed. If only we could get this thing right. So, Lanyap, I was talking about Lanyap on Friday the 21st, and I kind of went off a little bit. I'm so passionate about our people. Passionate about the potential of our people. So much potential in Trinidad and Tobago. The same U2 running down another one to shoot him has the potential and the capacity to create, to be productive, to be a plus to the society instead of a minus. If only we will extend that guidance. So, Lanyap, right? Mass, Calypso, Steel Pan, what else? Everything. We have everything in Trinidad and Tobago, and it is here for you all to enjoy. And then I know this one is not nudity though, eh? This one is not, I don't think that in the cast. But and there are some people who come to Trinidad and Tobago because we sell that as well. Some of our leaders sell that too now. Some of them sell nudity. They sell over-sexualization and sex. That's what they're selling. They don't sell that Monday and Tuesday, some of them. And I mean, I don't know if there are some kind of thing to sell it again. We don't have to be like that. That ain't freedom. We could enjoy ourselves in a better manner and thoroughly enjoy ourselves. So, Lanyap, right? I feel like going. I feel like going. Don't mind is Ramadan. I had to check the time. I had to make my prayers in the night, and then maybe I could catch a little piece. Right? I had to balance. And in the news as well, Mr. Morris in the office of the Prime Minister as well now. Plenty work. TTT audio glitch at that issue. He's dismissing the issue and saying, you know, I know I've seen some people ask for some kind of independent inquiry. Whatever happened, I do not believe it will happen again. It has had an opposite effect, I believe. So many people have gone to listen to Helen Francis's song because of that fact. So even if somebody there, whoever, maybe, right, and that's speculation, tried to suppress what was being sang, it worked in the opposite. So I ain't going to go behind the scenes too much. Let's move on. Trinidad and Tobago. Minister Michelle Benjamin also states that Flavor Village artists will be paid. Of course, you know, it is money is a problem, money is a challenge. Once upon a time, boy, people governed Trinidad and Tobago and they could have been able to say money ain't a problem. Money ain't a problem. I could remember those days a little bit, not before the third boom, which one I experienced, boy. And well, we experienced a bust, not right now for a while now. We Trinbagonians, right? We could laugh at it. We need to prepare in the future to be more resilient so that we could cope with the bust, or that we can avoid the bust through diversification, through preparation, through maximizing the benefit that we derive from our economic efforts in our country and putting aside through efficiency. There are a number of ways, right? But yeah, so the minister is saying Flavor Village artists will be paid. And they will be paid. The money will be found. And as Alan Francis said, he worried about the money that we're going to borrow. Yes, we are borrowing money. Who don't know that? Well, boy, you're all sleeping. But I do believe it is necessary at this point to borrow that money to keep things afloat, to ensure that the place don't go haywire, because it's already challenging contractors, artists, others in difficult positions where they can't get, you know, money paid. It is the oil that lubricates the wheel of Trinidad and Tobago, and Trinidad and Tobago grinding kinda right now. Sounding like my old car. I had to change some parts. Iron on iron, steel on steel. So they are doing their best. And we are intelligent enough to understand what is taking place so that we understand certain levels of borrowing has to take place. We also understand that certain, and that's where we may disagree and argue and try to persuade our leaders in the direction that we want them to go, that certain amounts of revenue have to be derived from the people as well. We're just saying, oh, go to the people who have plenty money. Don't take from us who have very little, who catch and we tail, as we just say. There's an interesting one, and I know it might be topical as well. U.S. radar troops to remain in Tobago. The United States military radar system will remain in Tobago for some time because it is needed along with U.S. troops on the ground to assist in the fight against crime, Defense Minister Wayne Sturge has said. I don't understand what he says about U.S. troops on our ground. I'm actually going to read into this a bit, right? Because I'm not aware that, apart from manning that radar system, which it may be. Maybe the article is a bit vague or leaning in a certain direction. I'm not aware that there are troops per se. In November 2025, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar confirmed that the United States Marines had installed a radar system at the A&R Robinson International Airport on the sister island. She noted then that it was not intended to launch any attack against Venezuela, but to enhance surveillance against narcotics traffickers. At the post-cabinet news conference at the Diplomatic Center in St. Anne's yesterday, the Express noted that the National Interest, an online publication, had praised Ms. Persad-Bissessar for leading Caribbean security through her support of the United States President Donald Trump in the fight against transnational crime. The Express asked if the U.S. radar remained in place and for how long. Sturge said TNT needs the system but would not provide timelines. We would have the use of the radar for the foreseeable future. I can give a definitive timeline and the reason why we need it. We already have a radar center, but our radar systems are somewhat limited. The radar systems provided by the US, they work with drone technology and satellite communications and so on, so that it offers a lot more than what we have, and that is needed at this point in time to achieve certain objectives. The minister recalled the country's border security challenges, noting the Coast Guard fleet was not where it should be. He said US assistance with detection, which would help us with the limited fleet we have. It would help us to respond in a timely manner and intercept. Presence of foreign military personnel does not diminish citizen sovereignty. Asked whether US military personnel was still stationed in Trinidad and Tobago and how many, Sturge said he could not disclose that information for security reasons. I will not disclose the numbers. That would be unwise. I don't think anywhere that sort of information would be disclosed because that is not in the public interest, unless you can tell me how the public would be well served by knowing that. Until you tell, you could justify that. I wouldn't be providing that information, he said. Alright, interesting. Question further, Sturge said, the presence of foreign military personnel did not diminish citizen sovereignty but strengthened it as they assisted in confronting the enemy, narco-traffickers the country has struggled to contain for decades. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander noted that the thousands of visitors entered the country and that a ship was in port from Spain yesterday. He said many people were here and the authorities were not checking individuals indiscriminately, but wanted visitors to come and enjoy themselves. And it goes on, right? We take the calls. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning. I want to speak concerning crime in this country. I believe we could curb crime in this country very, very easy. I believe what we need to do, all those judges that have case 15, 20 years, hold them to account why those cases, let them answer why those cases are running for so long. I think the country should hire new judges, about 4 or 5 judges, and they would work on the recent cases. I also do believe that there should be a time allotted for case to finish, so that those lawyers and they will have to get their act in order. I do believe that the government will have to go to the parliament and pass certain law, because when sentence of an evil work is not speedily done, the hearts of men are set on wickedness. If you can kill a man today, around 15, 20 years, case going on, and you can get bail, there is nothing to deter you. You could kill witness, you get bail, there's nothing to deter you. But if you kill a man today, and within 5 months' time, a life are life, and all those folks who have murdered people are hiding, you put out dragnet for them, and you look for them. It doesn't matter if they join church or wheresoever they are. You go after them. I believe crime would go down considerably. You'll hardly hear they have a murder in Trinidad. And we have some crooked police, but it is not the police that causing the crime to go up. And not even the people who committing the crime. Because the people who are committing the crime, if they are held to account, they will stop committing crime. I believe the government get some more judges and work on those new cases speedily, and those back cases what you have, work on them, call those sitting judges to account, and the lawyers give them a time for case to start and finish. And if someone murders someone and you have law whereby the person should be hanged, short space of time, you get rid of that person. Crime will go down. You have certain laws for white-collar crime, corruption, all these sort of things. If you join, let us say a person join the police force, within 5 years, time, let's say you offer $1 million, you have to tell us where you get the money from to build a house for $5 million and have a motor car for $450,000 and have your children going to a big university and all these things. If people are called to account, crime would be done and passed in Trinidad and Tobago. Look at the countries where crime is very low. You know why? Because they act speedily. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Excellent suggestions. And definitely we have heard some of those sentiments echoed by even, people who are specialists in fields. So we know that some of what you are putting forward will work and will assist. Yes, 100% accountability is essential in the process of justice. There's also a very, very, very important other element. Good morning, Mr. West. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Ford.
Morning.
The gentleman who spoke before, I think he made a very valid contribution. And, we call on public servants. When we talk about public servants, I want to distinguish those people in judicial arm from those in the public service and whatnot. We call on those people to work. We call on those people in the regional corporation, those delegates to function. But those members of the judiciary and those people in the DPP and whatnot, they have to work too, You make appointments and whatnot, and it seems not to have any real impact on reducing the backlog. They are paid hefty sums, they give more sort of perks and all kind of things, but apparently they're not. What we call for is productivity. We're talking about efficiency. That is what we want, and I'm saying, I said before, and I agree with the gentleman, you have to take a look at the entire criminal justice system. Look at the police you need to deal with that, yes. I don't want to repeat what he said, but the fact remains is that training is important. How you gather evidence, how you go about gathering intelligence, how you put together the evidence that you would have gathered and whatnot to present in a file before the DPP. Only because a lot of cases just can't make it.
Fall through, they fall through.
And these are the things that you need to work on. If you can't tell me about your 18% detection rate, you can't deter crime because people believe that the probability of being caught is very low. So out of 100 persons who might have committed some criminal act, 82% of those people gone free. That can't work. That can't work, and it's time that we take a serious look at the efficiency and effectiveness of those institutions. But I know the entire thing in a mess. So I don't know. I want to be hopeful. I want to be optimistic. But I'm saying that we need to look at those. You need to look at the prison also. That is an arm of the criminal justice system. It's a cog in the system.
Yeah.
Just like the DPP, the DPP office, again, the prosecutors that they have, they need to, I don't know if they recruit the best or whether they have, because again, when people talk about matters falling through, you have the DPP office who also, when charges, when persons are arrested, right, they're arrested on reasonable suspicion and all that kind of thing. The police, just like you saw in England recently with respect to the former prince, right? You detain, you have suspicion, you don't have facts, you don't have evidence, and therefore you detain him, and the police would go about and search the house and whatnot looking for evidence. But they have a 24-hour span in England in order to gather the, otherwise they have to set him free and continue with the investigation. And then if they get sufficient, they go to the Crown Prosecution Service, and just like our DPP, the system is similar. And you need to get competent people within the DPP's office. You're no longer as they were before. And I don't know if they recruit the best. I don't know if they recruit people with the experience, whether they pay the right salaries and what the right remuneration. And therefore they are attracting the best. So that has to be dealt with. The judiciary itself has to be dealt with, right? And the penal system has to be dealt with. I don't know if they have the resources, the financial resources.
We lost you there, no, Mr. West. First time that has happened with you, right? Unfortunately, and you were making some salient points there. What I was going to say is that if we look at the societies that have the lowest criminal crime rates, etc., it is because of a culture. It is because of their morals and their values, their sometimes religious underpinnings, and their moral and social underpinnings as well. Good morning, we lost you there.
Salam alaikum, my little brother.
Oh, wa alaikum salam.
Boy, Mr. West and the Mr. who spoke before is one contribution I want to say towards the crime. For everybody living right here, you know, the police, the judge, the magistrate, everybody living right and everybody know what's going on. And according to the saying, crime is a big business. And to me, it's a more bigger business than Caribbean. Because you can't tell me that year go, year come, government change, government gone, we can't get something in place to really see how we are tackling crime. We just trying all kind of thing and being dealing with the reality. The reality is all them judge on them and magistrate on them. When them retire, they bringing them back on different board and different commission and different thing. And you yourself questioning the performance before they retire. The police, everybody, the soldiers, everybody know what's going on. For being no stranger, being come from Dominica or St. Lucia. If you see just how they want to deal with crime for carnival and places, time, they could deal with it right through the year. And this is my contribution. And another thing, Paul, I was watching the news last night, and I just want to find out, I don't know if you'll give me some clarification. Every Calypsonian or everybody who performed in the the successful place in the Savannah. What is the name of they call it?
Flavor Village.
The Flavor Village. I want to know if all the little artists and everybody who perform actually getting a little contribution or some money or something, because when I hear on the news last night that Marshall is a professional and he getting paid because he had to pay band people and he had to pay backup people and these people and them. I know Marshall is a professional, but Marshall is a Trinidadian, and Marshall could have given a free contribution because he's not Marshall is no hungry little fella. He could have given a free concept. So I am asking, and people will find I fast and I ain't supposed to ask that. What is the fee? Because he say the government ain't no money and he go wait until they pay him. I want to know how much is the pay, if the other performance people who perform getting a little pay, and if Marshall come from here, born here, can contribute something for free like that, and let the Flavor Zone say how much was the profit they make with Marshall to contribute, that they could expand the flavor. That is one. Forward, another thing I hear on the news last night, and I find it sounding kind of backward. They was asking about the Calypsonian and the breakdown with TTT and the cutoff at the certain Calypsonian we was singing. It have a man who they say must be the board member, the big man in TTT, say he ain't have to answer to that. And here why I can't take with the answer he say that he had to have no investigation in the breakdown with the Calypsonian we're singing, I think, whether it's about the government or not, because you know as a little fella growing up, and all that we know, they talk about Pam Nickerson in Hilton, P down the bed, they talk about this one, they talk about that one, Eric Williams, Duncy, Chambers, Duncy, this one, deaf. We are accustomed to we culture to laugh and enjoy. What I am saying here now, if it's a culture from since in the past government to this government, increase it, that you mustn't sing about the government and sing about the issue of the country and the things that are affecting the country. And this man turn and say, when Kamala was talking in the Hindu Nagaru, they did cut she off. So I want to know if it's a culture. So is that a problem with PNM cutting off Kamala then in the Hindu Nagaru? So it has nothing wrong with if UNC now cutting off the Calypsonian and them, and you see this is what killing this country, you know.
Somebody say that that is a justification. Somebody say that.
Boy, the man, an Indian fella in a suit, in a jacket and tie, listen to the news, TV6 news last night. That was the justification the man say, no.
No.
And I find, look another one. One of the reporters asked the Minister of National Security if we still have Yankee soldiers in Trinidad and Tobago. The minister asked him, what you asking that for? What you want to know that for? The man say, as a citizen of the country, he say, well, really and truly, he answer him a kind of way like, boy, that in your business, and we still have cartel here, we still have corruption, I mean, we still have mafia here, and we still, so I ain't have to answer that. But what I'm saying, with all right, if we have American soldiers here, well, they're gone with Maduro, and the help is to protect here. According to what Mr. West and the last speaker before Mr. West saying, all you're telling we protective service not capable of handling protecting we. So let's still have to have him just answer the man. He's a reporter. And you see, this is the whole delinquency where we get rid of PNM, we get rid of this one, we get rid of that one, and everything still spinning right wrong, and we talking about where's the future and where we country going. And in closing, I listened to the Barbadian news and I was proud, and I said I want to make that contribution this morning. The Prime Minister said they're going and give out over 100 land to small people for farming in order to actually plan food for the future. If you check we exporting bill and the kind of food now, most of the food we exporting is we killing we and getting sick. And we have got dashing, sweet potato, cassava, all kind of thing here. Why we can't do that? And another thing they say they're doing, they went on all the blocks. All the blocks where they have young people just lying idling, and they're talking to them and trying to pull them in. So in other words, I ain't hear they talk nothing about building no new jail. They're looking to do things to help the people. And this is the problem we running from, and we don't want to face forward. The people who want country like you, and there are certain people I listen to on the radio and all about callers, you know. We're really interested in the upliftment of this country, you know. They don't listen to them, and them in have no chance. It's only the wrong thing flourishing in this country. All you have a nice day. But God bless the lady who win. We more than need prayers, boy.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we need a blessing bad. And that's what I was saying. I was saying that apart from a judicial system that is functioning properly, apart from reform of the police service, which is essential, reform of our people's minds as well, so that we do not incline and believe in crime. Everybody involved, you know. This place, it have a certain level of rot running through the fabric of this entire place, you know. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, my brother.
Hey, morning.
This morning.
Good, man. Blessings. And you?
I'm all right, man, by the grace of God.
Nice.
Mr. Fuad, no contribution this morning. Just call to wish you and your family a blessed this weekend. And may God's blessings continue to be upon you and your family.
Thank you very much. That is our contribution too, man. I'm taking that.
Yes, my brother. All right, then, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah, man. I missed it. Right, okay. Good morning, Prezi. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Siam Kuala Bubaka. Good morning, Chelavan Tobago. Good morning, God. Nice morning so far. I'm thinking, as I say, God really feeling you a little morning. I know we go look for you yesterday. I seen a little dark cloud and mist something, but yeah, it's looking good for now. Anyway, Papa got here having a little conversation there, and well, you know me, I can't comment dealing with the minds and hearts of people in such an extent that I keep on saying that the peasants, the electorate, the people, all of us who come in on radio and all kind of thing and Brian remote, we need to form an organization. We scattered, we fragmented. The system don't hear we. Unless we make up our mind that the system must hear us by getting ourselves organized. The word from Marcus Garvey is organize. Right now, the whole of Africa saying organize, unite, organize. And if we as a people can't hear that, because greed controlling the place, and how greed controlling the place is by massa controlling, and if massa keep on controlling with greed, we only chatting as the slaves. And I keep on saying capitalism and slavery is the whole existence that we live in. Why are we not actually dealing with that? Because unless we deal with that, we wouldn't deal with the reality where that is the thing that's stemming all the immorality. As long as a person seeing evil doing, a person seeing no justice, then he will act by any means necessary against the public and against the evil of injustice.
Yeah.
These are the common sense thoughts of reality that we must acknowledge to be able to make change. Greed is a serious potential or lack of potential in the existence. And as long as greed stand up there, we could say how we would like this, how we would like that, and we should do this and we should do that. It would never be, because the minds that are greedy not going to let you do it. I even remember a little piece of Eric Williams book that tells you the more we
step one stage is the more the capitalist system will pull us back to. And I hear that even from David Mohammed. I hear that from one or two good intellects who understand that. As long as you make one step forward and you're not in consciousness of your reality to make progress unifiably or in an organized form, organizing to set the real goals that will make purpose for everybody, you will get pulled back by those who is mastered. And as I say, this whole existence ruled by capitalism and slavery. You could get away the rich, the poor. It starts from so long. We talk about so much historical times that fall because of injustice, and it's still going on. So let us change and understand the reality. All the big intellect that plenty people come in and they just come in to propagate the same master system that we all, as poor people, as peasants, trying to get away from, because they keep on pushing you into the same system that ruling us. I'm going to get it.
Yeah, man. And I understand what you're saying. You crystallize it well there. Thank you very much. So, the people of Trinidad and Tobago have to organize themselves as well. We have to organize ourselves. And what is one of the features of Helen Francis's Calypso is that, one, it is named Don't Forget. But at the end of every verse, he reminds those who hold office and power now, he reminds them that this is Trinbago. He reminds them, because a word to the wise is sufficient. Good morning, KFC. Welcome.
A word to the wise is sufficient.
Morning, KFC. Welcome.
Blessed morning, Fuad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Fuad, Ellen Francis, right? You know he's a smooth entertainer. He sing good calypso and thing. He deal with the real issues. But I don't like this faithfulness and hypocrisy. I see the emancipation community coming out now. So people like they're trying to defend Ellen Francis. Now they want an investigation. For the last 9 years plus, many of them come out. So much are murder, so much are black people dying right in the community. They ain't coming out for that. They're coming out now to see like there's somebody who love black people now. Well, if emancipation, then the corner that shaky, hug up for one day, and they forget the black brothers. For much years now, they have emancipation. They have an emancipation community. They have nothing. They never have a piece of land. They ain't fighting for that. There wasn't coming along at the last regime and asking for certain things. I find this politics and both sides, they're too racial by for a while.
Right. All right.
I mean, reaching nowhere with that.
All right.
So the man who Malcolm X was talking about with the statement that who took off a ship off a barrel, he working in the ministry with the prime minister. His name is Morris.
Morris, yeah. Okay.
He made that statement. Yeah. Yeah, man. Bless.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, and just that doesn't validate what is perceived to maybe have been done. If someone does something wrong before, if there was some type of censorship of the Prime Minister, well, when she was opposition leader in the Diwali Nagar by the state-owned company, if there was censorship then, certainly now you shouldn't come and leave the perception of censorship there. You should elevate yourself above that. We didn't want that. We don't want that. Good morning again. Welcome.
No, I just step back in to say that. Let me see if I can load on this volume or the shading. Yes. You see, if we continue along the line of the black man and the white man and the Indian, we will get nowhere. Let every man be judged by the content of his character. If
Facts.
the black, I'm an African man.
Solid. I agree with that. I endorse that statement.
Yes. If the black man is committing crime, he ought to pay the penalty for that crime. If the Indian man is committing crime, he ought to pay the penalty for that crime. It doesn't matter who commits the crime. You could be white, you could be black, you could be rich, you could be poor. Once you commit crime, there should be no partiality. You see, once we start to go down the road, black and white and all these sort of things, we will not get nowhere because we will compromise. If our brother commit crime and we sit in the seat of justice, he ought to pay the penalty.
Correct.
And may God be with us as we seek to do that which is right. And this is what we need, The greatest want of the world today is the want of men that cannot be bought or sold. Men that would stand for the right even though the heaven falls. Men that would call sin by its right name. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, caller. You preached today on this Friday, and we need that blessing, Trinidad and Tobago. We could be a blessing to our Twin Island Republic if we do what is right, if we uphold what is right. Don't justify what may be wrong by alluding to it being done before. We don't want that. We didn't want it. It is not a coincidence that 100,000 of us refrain from supporting the last administration, and it is not a coincidence that some thousands, tens of thousands of us switched side. We don't want certain stupidness. So now, you must do better. It cannot be the same behavior and a justification of the same behavior because they did it as well. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, son. God bless you. This is Granny.
Morning, Granny. Of course, there's only one you. I know the voice. Go ahead. Welcome.
Yeah. I don't know what has happened to people. They have to take some time. They have to take some time to be adjusted. If you build in a house, it don't done right away. Sometimes you have to wait for carpenter, wait for material. What people want, the bus are running, the pothole there, all right, the jail bill, where was them? Look how long PNM run this country. None of them calling to ask nothing at all. And Penny and them proud that PNM hold that name for, I don't know if it's 40 years or 50 years or how much, but they should be proud of what they do to the country. They did nothing. Nothing. And again, people have to think. Give them a time to do things. They're taking the time and doing what they can do. It can have a year. It can have 2 years yet. Give the government a time. You understand?
No problem at all. I agree with you.
Right. They don't have time. I mean, I'm telling you, to me, the registering, the migrants were here. Now, I don't like that. Like Trump, send them back. But they are the government. And not everything they could do to suit everybody. You hear? So, people have to learn. You understand? Give a time. let me tell you, when I was young, there was not a Hindu school in Trinidad. Sat Maraj, a man that had nothing much. He lived in his father-in-law house. He took his time and he tried to get people together. He had nothing. And he started to build schools cheap. Eric Williams said, Satmaraj sending people to Cowpen because the schools was built like Cowpen. It's built flat in the ground, and that. But when he get time and he take time, he start to do things different. One man get people together without professor and this and that. But, you know, so people must learn to take time, give the government a chance. If I work all over one.
Yeah, thank you very much, Granny. We're just running out of time. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
And that is fine. Of course, we know that there are things that will take time, and we know that there are challenges in terms of economics as well. But obviously, as we go along, where we see mistakes or shortcomings that we may identify as mistakes or shortcomings, we have the right as a people to try to guide them in a better direction, to ask questions as well. And we do not want what existed before. We don't want that arrogance that we not answering, we not accountable, we in charge, we doing what we want. We do not want that. I certainly have never supported that. And I do not want it from anybody. So let us understand where the pulse of the people are. Yes, there are those who are just critical for their desire to go back, but we ain't even interested in them. We just want good governance, right? And there are positives, obviously, but where there are shortfalls, we'll continue to discuss it. This is what Voices on the Street is about. Blessings to everyone, all of our leaders, even the late Satmaraj, for the positives that he has contributed as well. We're out of time. Take care, and we'll be back, God willing, next week. Take care.
For Jesus, then join us every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. for the program, This Same Jesus, the program that puts Jesus in his rightful place in our hearts.